How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and everything relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And today we have some quite interesting news about possibly the most anticipated thing that everybody is waiting for with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Wolverine in the MCU news. Now, it's hard to think of anybody else besides Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine, but since he's already stated that he's done playing Wolverine and maybe if the MCU had started just a little bit sooner, he could have reprise the role, which is a truly depressing thought, but moving on, he has said that he is no longer going to be playing Wolverine. So eventually somebody else will have to step in the shoes and take on the role of Wolverine. And good luck to him because that actor is going to be judged severely. And compared to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, which everybody pretty much loves. And although we don't know who the actor that's going to be playing Wolverine is, we do have a little bit of information about what Wolverine could possibly be like when he finally does make his MCU debut. So let's break it all down, but first, if you don't know, I'm giving away an Iron Spider Funko Pop this week. All you got to do to enter is subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment down below. So today's report and rumor is coming from Daniel Richmond about Wolverine when he finally enters the MCU. This report says that when Wolverine finally does enter the MCU, he is going to be positioned as more of an anti-hero instead of a typical hero. Instead of being a black and white character, he's going to be more of a gray area character. Now, we're assuming the new plan for this new Wolverine when he comes to the MCU is going to be to somehow differentiate him from Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Everybody at Marvel Studios knows that everybody loved Hugh Jackman, and to simply replace him with the same type of character is not the smartest move. They know that if you're going to bring in a new Wolverine, he's going to have to be different. So taking Wolverine and instead of making him a hero, make him more of an anti-hero actually makes a lot of sense for Marvel to do. Now, with making Wolverine more of an anti-hero than a hero, there is a good possibility that Marvel Studios may just be trying to make a very comic accurate version of Wolverine. An anti-hero doesn't necessarily mean an evil person or somebody who wants to do bad. It could simply mean that they're not the typical hero. And Wolverine isn't your typical hero. He smokes, has many relationships, he's very aggressive, he curses a lot, and he's basically an animal, hence the Wolverine. He also kills, and he kills on purpose. There are times in the comics where he kills and he probably shouldn't. He probably should have restrained himself a bit. He has a basic instinct to kill and in some ways is kind of a homicidal maniac, but nonetheless he usually does kill to do good. He may be unconventional, but he is still a hero. It just may not be in typical fashion, hence anti-hero. But what this means is that when the X-Men finally do enter the MCU and we actually have an X-Men team-up film, Wolverine may not be a part of that team. We already know that the X-Men and mutants are going to be introduced throughout Phase 4, 5, and 6 before we actually get an X-Men movie. From what we know, it'll basically be like the Avengers setup. We get introduced to Tony Stark, Thor, Captain America, and others, and then they finally come together to form a team. The plan for the X-Men is apparently the same. Introduce them individually, then have them come together, forming the X-Men. But if Wolverine is going to be an anti-hero, he may not join the team originally. In fact, it'll probably take a world-threatening villain for him to eventually come help. Now, just because they might make Wolverine an anti-hero doesn't mean we aren't going to get the typical traits of Wolverine that we love. Wolverine does have a very dark path covered in death and destruction, and sometimes he can go into a mindless fury. However, he does have a sense of justice, and he does whatever he can to protect his loved ones, his fellow mutants and X-Men members, and he does defend the innocent. He may not be the perfect hero, but in our book, he's definitely the perfect anti-hero. So be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on anything that we hear about Marvel's Wolverine coming to the MCU. And in the meantime, if this rumor ends up being true, what do you think about this? Would you be okay with this story arc for Wolverine? Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to give the video a like. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter for live updates. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.